So this is new research that came out of the National Bureau of Economic Research, and it came out in May, but it was about March, and it's found that residents of zip codes with higher Fox News viewership were less likely to follow stay-at-home orders by studying their cell phones.
Okay. Wow.
Also,
Is this people who consent to the study, or are they just trying?
No, yeah, I actually was reading it. I was like,
Like,
oh my,
they got
it's
the data.
millions and millions of cell phones. I'm like, I don't think anyone was consenting to that. But yeah, if you think that you're not being followed on your phone, then
You're wrong. I guess you probably have consented secretly by accepting the terms.
Yeah, Google's like, oh, you want this? You want to turn your phone on? Okay, press this button, and then you press it. And then the University of Chicago found that people who watch Fox News, if you were more likely to watch Tucker Carlson, who was one of the few Fox hosts who at the beginning said that there was like urgency around this pandemic and spoke more seriously about it, versus someone who watched Sean Hannity, who spent weeks downplaying its severity.
So both news anchors on Fox now.
So you're watching Fox News.
Okay, so we're comparing Fox to Fox people now.
Yes, and they're actually able to study who they're more likely to watch. This was from surveys.
Yep.
They found if you're more likely to watch Sean Hannity, the one who downplayed it, you had a 32% increase in infections and a 23% increase in a COVID-19 related death.
Oh my God, that's huge.
Isn't that
Did that
crazy?
just come out?
Yes, this is new research. Like the study just came out like 2 weeks ago.
That's crazy because well then thanks, Sean Hannity. You actually kill people and we have numbers to show you.
So it's just such an interesting, it's really important research to explain the importance of information. But it was actually in a larger article I was reading about disinformation. And I think this is an interesting thing to know. So we know that Russia meddled with the last election. Like that is a fact. We know that there was a lot of these different accounts. All these things were happening to confuse people. But what they are doing is like looking back through a variety of political landscapes. It's like the disinformation now that you have to worry about is no longer like there's still things coming from Russia, but there seems to be an overreaction to that. A lot of people are being hired to take down these bots when there are people like Sean Hannity or the president who are actually actively engaging with disinformation. That is more dangerous now, even though it might have been sowed by Russia or, Trump might have been elected because of Russia. In order to properly combat it, we have to look that the fire is coming from within the house. It's like they don't necessarily think, a lot of scholars don't necessarily think Russia was trying to do this. It was just an outcome of chaos that they were trying to.
Yeah, that chaos was the goal.
And sometimes I think, including the left, they like to say, like Russia did this and this was their plan. It's like, that's not necessarily the case. And there's actually a famous old political scientist who says that the most powerful thing, like this is like in the time of fear of communism, the most powerful thing you can do to like attack Russia is to have a strong society where people believe and have faith in
like
the
trust
government
their leadership.
and trust their leadership. I'm like, that is so interesting. It's not about cyber warfare back. It's not about an attack back. It's about actually, Michelle Obama taking the higher road,
or coming together and being united.
Yeah. So I just think that it's as we move in.
I think that conversation has evolved a lot, where we kind of thought, and whether I don't know how much of it is true, is like, okay, Russia wanted Trump to win, whether or not, but it's become more clear that they just want there to be division. You know? And I don't mean just Russia. Like, I'm sure there's many forces, as I'm sure America also tries to implicate other countries as well. It's like, but the goal seems to be to divide people, because a country that's divided is a less successful country.
Yeah, but I don't even know if that was the goal from Russia in the first place, but that was the outcome. Like, that's what we've seen.
True.
And so just, it's like, if you're worried about Russian disinformation campaigns, it's like Sean Hannity is actually, from this study, had enough impact to literally kill people because they were listening to him as he downplayed the pandemic.